Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the CEO of a commercial production company who is shaking up his industry. His story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, on this show, we love to feature disruptors. I like to think that I'm a disruptor. That's why I'm drawn to people who are shaking things up and not doing things the same way their industry has always done things. Chris Rupert is in the studio. He's the CEO of Nametag Films. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's
absolutely. Well, your production company is amazing, and we're going to learn more about that in a minute. But I'm fascinated by the journey. So how did you get into this?
Yeah, so I graduated, actually started in high school. I just had a high school photography teacher that said, you know, you can go to college for photography. And that just blew my mind. I was like, oh, that's amazing. So went to school for photography, got out of school doing photography. And then in the course of my career, there's some technology that came out, like Canon 5D, made it like easily accessible to start playing with storytelling in long form. And it's just started at the time we were working with Neiman Marcus, and so we just started playing around and editing. And from editing, I started learning how to work a camera. I already kind of knew it from photography, and then the art of storytelling. And then before you knew it, I was doing what we do today. So
I want to pull up your website, because for people to appreciate what you do, they have to see just some of the examples of the work that you do. I mean, it is rich photography, and as you said, great storytelling. And I imagine every project that you work on has a different look and feel, and you're working with the client to try to capture their vision.
Yeah, it's every project is so unique for sure, and each story and every production has its own challenges. I mean, we scrolled past one where guy was walking on the side of the building, and we did that practically, and we had to figure out how do we do that and what city will let us do that in. And some are more socially based and just finding happy moments that would inspire someone to be have a positive affinity towards that brand. So
sure. And we all just finished watching the Super Bowl, where they were paying $7 million for 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Think about trying to tell a story in 30 seconds. What are some of the challenges that you face when you're taking on a new client and trying to capture their vision?
What a great big question. Challenges that we face. We have such an amazing team. And so the first thing is just making sure we truly understand the goals of any project and what the client is really trying to achieve. Like, what is it? Is it build brand affinity? Is it to sell a product? What action do we want the client to take after they're done watching whatever piece we create, whether it's a long form or a short form piece of content? And then working backwards from there. Man, when I think of what we do, I don't necessarily think of challenges. I think probably in the past 2 years, the biggest challenge that we face is that all of our hard costs are going through the roof, and clients' budgets are not growing as fast as our costs are. So how we tell stories is becoming increasingly creative on the budgeting side, just as much on the creative side.
Sure.
So.
And at the end of each year, they put together kind of a sizzle reel. We found a beautiful reel that you created for the year 2022. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
I got you, yeah, my crew. We alley-oop, yeah, alley-oop, yeah. Okay, alright, we do it how we like Talladega Nights. My crew, my tribe, we super duper fly. Oh wait, oh I really think it's time. Let's go up to the sun, we so high above. Packing out the upper room, yeah, you know it's us. Yeah, you know that we ready to go. Take it a step at a time, we just enjoying the ride.
Wow, I'm just blown away. So I first have to address the elephant in the room. How did you get the guy to run on the side of the building? How'd you do that one?
What a fun project. So that was Hager Clothing came to us and said, hey, we want to build a piece at the end of the year that just kind of champions who we are, a little bit of our history, and just has fun with our product. And so Sawyer Skipper is one of our directors, and he said, man, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to build this amazing piece that has people running on the side of the wall. And so I always say, there's the creative development, but then production. What we do as a production company is solving problems. And so the producers in the room said, okay, you want someone to run on the side of the wall? Okay, we got to find buildings that would allow us to do that. We got to find the stunt teams. And then that one got cast all across the U.S. to find the right dancers and talent that could be able to do that. So.
Well, I want to brag on you because when I was in TV news, there were the production side, and often the head of production would tell us why we couldn't do it. It sounds like you've assembled this dream team where they're like, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Dream big and we'll make it happen.
That's so true. My team is amazing. We have awesome relationships with directors, with our editors, our producers, and the whole entire team comes together and works to...
Let's go ahead and pull up the Meet the Team page off the website, because I want to give you a chance to kind of brag about it.
So it starts from the bottom up. I love, go down to the bottom.
Okay, sure.
Because it all starts with Joe. Joe is our executive producer, and he's the guy playing with his tie at the bottom.
Nice.
And he's the guy that usually someone calls us and says, I have $100,000. I need to make this piece. How are we going to go about it? And he's the one that starts putting parameters around what we can do with that money. And then from there, a director gets assigned to the project. And so like Sawyer and Sarah or Jonah or myself at times too. I'm trying to spend more time in the CEO role than less time in the director role, but I still love it. So it's hard to.
Well,
to get out
another
of that.
thing that impresses me about you, I'm a son of a minister, so I try to wear my faith on my sleeve. You do too.
Yeah. When we started Nametag, there was a few things that my wife and I observed. I was just learning a brand new industry and just kind of getting my feet as a director, really. And what I saw was that most production companies, their main goal was to suck as much production or profit out of every job. And it didn't sit well with me. And then the other thing was this enormous class system that from the client to the production assistant, which is the lowest person on set, there was this huge chasm. And that also didn't feel right with us. And so our faith as Christians is that we should treat everyone the way that we want to be treated. And so we just decided, let's build a company that lives by that golden rule, has that culture, that we can openly talk about our faith amongst people and be a blessing as much as possible. Extreme generosity is one of the kind of core tenets. But the other element of that was the ability to provide more value than we take in payment. And so we're always trying to make our pieces feel so much bigger. Most Super Bowl spots, they'll spend $500,000 on production alone, and then that doesn't include the media buy. And a lot of times we're able to take a $60,000, $100,000, $150,000 project and make it feel like that $500,000 mark. And that has been one of the things that has enabled us to be super successful, is stretching our clients' dollars.
And you were telling me that you just started working on a television piece.
Yeah, so one of the fun projects to see in there, it's been a year, but we finished a TV series, a 4-part TV series, a docuseries on forest fires in America. Wow. And the cause and maybe prevention, and it was super interesting documentary. So that was produced for a local network called EarthX. And that has been a whole new world for us because, you know, before we were telling stories in 30 seconds and now we're telling stories in 4 45-minute pieces. So that has been really fun, and we actually have multiple projects already on the table.
Okay, we only have a minute or so left, so final thoughts. What do you want to leave people with?
Oh man, being an entrepreneur is a really fun place to live, and I'm so thankful that my kids get to see that we can have choice and be in control of our own destiny. And I think God gave us the ability to be creative. And so I'm so thankful every day when I get to live and work in that place of invoking that God-given gift. So
I can't think of a better way to leave this segment. We're going to end with his website, which is nametagfilms.com. The great Chris Rupert. Thanks for coming on the show.
yeah, thanks for having me.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.